Green Party candidate Jill Stein has defeated a lawsuit that was headed up by the Democratic Party trying to get her off the ballot in Georgia. So let's talk about exactly what this means and how that's going to impact the upcoming election. So Jill Stein posted this on her social media accounts, a few days back, talking about the lawsuits that were filed against her, trying to get her off of the ballot in several battleground states. We'll put this up on the screen now. This is from her Twitter/X account, whatever you want to call it, saying here that we have Georgia underneath, showing from like a Team Stein account that we won in Georgia. The anti-Democratic Party has lost multiple lawsuits trying to kick the Green Party off the ballot in Georgia. Spread the word, help us celebrate by pitching in for us to get our message out and vote for Jill Stein. So this is something that also happened a couple weeks ago in another state. She's been battling these lawsuits by, lawyers who are headed up by the DNC all over the country right now. They're still in court in Nevada currently, but we'll put this up on the screen. This is from Newsweek, where Jill Stein celebrated a big win against Democrats after lawsuits dismissed. This was in the state of Wisconsin. This next slide here says that big win against the anti-Democratic Party's war on democracy and voter choice, Stein wrote. Wisconsin voters still have an anti-genocide, pro-working climate action choice this year. Going on to say that, it was someone by the name of David Strange, who was a deputy operations director in Wisconsin for the DNC, that this lawsuit had no legal standing. Quote, the court has considered the filings in this case. Accordingly, it is ordered that the petition for leave to commence an original action is denied. We determine that the petitioner, Strange, is not entitled to the relief he seeks, and it is further ordered that all pending motions are denied as moot. So most polls have been showing Jill Stein at about 1%, nationally speaking. But, she has been making her push as the pro-Gaza candidate with so many Democratic voters right now who have been saying that they would like to see a ceasefire, with so many Democratic voters saying that they would like to see an arms embargo put on the nation of Israel. Jill Stein has been leaning heavily into this, where the Democratic Party has been largely either shying away from it or backing the Netanyahu government completely. So Jill Stein believes that she can pick up a lot of these voters in states all across America. She has since picked a Palestinian American as her running mate for the Green Party ticket. We can put this up on the screen really quickly here. This is a post showing that she recently received the Muslim American Public Affairs Council to endorse her presidency. And, we're also seeing, we can put this up on the screen as well, that the Council of American Islamic Relations showed that a survey that they conducted showed that she was actually preferred over Kamala Harris and Donald Trump amongst Muslim voters in Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin. They also, in this same poll, showed that Kamala Harris was ahead in Georgia and Pennsylvania. And strangely enough, Donald Trump is actually leading with Arab American voters in Nevada, to which I find that to be very strange. But hey, I don't understand everything going on in the state of Nevada. Maybe they got some stuff going on there that I need to be learning more about. Uh, so the real question is, how is this going to impact the election? And there are lots of different kind of like factors that we can get into. But first, let's go back with a little bit of history here. How did Jill Stein do the last time she ran? For those who don't know, she ran in 2016, once again under the Green Party ticket, did not run in 2020. But let's go back to 2016 and see what it looked like for her. In the three states that Hillary Clinton lost, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, we can put these up on the screen. These are the election results from these three states. There was a lot of Democratic cope at the time, basically saying that, like, if you took Jill Stein's voters out of the equation, those voters would have been enough to have Hillary Clinton win in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And from what you can see on the screen here, that math does break out. Well, I will say this though. I think this is kind of a big misperception about Green Party voters. I think, there's just the assumption that if the Green Party wasn't on the ballot, that people would automatically vote for Democrats. The more likely scenario, in my opinion, is that those people just wouldn't vote. They're not voting for Democrats for a reason. The Democratic Party is available on the ballot in all 50 states. If someone is choosing to vote green in a in a presidential election, the likeliest, likeliest scenario if the Green Party wasn't on the ballot is that person just stays home. I truly believe that. I mean, will you have some people who would vote for the Democrats if Green Party wasn't available? Sure, but I feel like these are people who typically wouldn't vote at all otherwise. So I've always found that to be quite the bit of cope as far as, I'm concerned. And also people seem to, just completely like neglect here the fact that libertarians are on the ballots. They're also probably taking some votes that might go to Democrats otherwise, but most people see them as taking votes away from Republicans, so they don't really seem to get mad about that. But what's really happening here when we talk about this election? Jill Stein is probably going to end up taking more of a vote from Kamala Harris than she did from Hillary Clinton in 2016. I think the anti, like Democratic Party, anti like genocide votes, I think it's going to be a lot larger than pollsters truly understand. How large it will be, who knows? I don't think it's going to like significantly, like impact the election in ways where it's like, like Kamala is going to lose like multiple states because of it. But I do think that Jill Stein might get a larger percentage of the vote than she's ever gotten. But to be fair, what she's gotten in the past has been roughly about 1%. But there's a good chance she could get 2 or 3% this year. And in a couple states, that might be enough for Kamala Harris to lose a particular swing state. I think time will tell as far as that's all concerned. My thoughts on this matter, here kind of to wrap this video up. I I think that the Democratic Party, absolutely needs the Green Party to exist. And I think that in a perfect world, the trying to get into a little bit into the weeds here. I would love to see two things. First of all, I think that every state needs ranked choice voting or some kind of like alternate voting form than what we currently have. Because I think that we as people need to have the ability to, vote for something like, one of these third parties, but also be able to vote for like a Democratic Party, like just so we don't run the risk of, like say if you don't like the Republicans, then the Republicans actually, like winning the election. I think ranked choice voting would be great for this scenario. I think we need it. I'm glad that states like Alaska and Maine already have it. Several cities around the country have implemented it as well. I would love to see it here in the state of Montana, where I live. I really do believe that we need that, but until we have that, it is kind of risky. Unfortunately, just given the two-party system that we do have, yeah, I think in an ideal world, what I would really like to see is that if you live in a deep red state, that you would vote for the Green Party in those states, because in those states, if you live in a Kentucky and Arkansas, Oklahoma, my state of Montana, Kamala Harris is not winning those states, point blank. So you voting for Kamala Harris in a deep red state, like Wyoming, North Dakota, South Carolina, it's just a symbolic vote. It's a symbolic vote. Donald Trump has already won those states. I would put every penny that I have in my bank account on that right now. So instead of essentially throwing away a vote in a deep red state for the Democratic Party, your vote actually has more value going to the Green Party. Because if the Green Party does get 5% of the vote nationally, they get matching funds from Congress. This would help them out in the future. I know that some people have some issues with Jill Stein as a particular candidate, and we can definitely get into that in another video because I've seen some questionable things about her myself. But the Green Party as a whole, I think if they are able to truly get a better foothold in this country, it'll just kind of give more competition to the Democratic Party. I think it'll be a better thing overall for voters on the left in this country. So I would like to see that party thrive, but it's complicated because it needs to I think it needs to happen in a certain way so that like while the Green Party is building itself up, we're not doing it in a way that's going to actually allow the Republicans to flourish in the meantime. So kind of a complicated thing, but all in all, I hope the Green Party finds a way to come up a little bit in this election, but I also hope that that doesn't also result in a Donald Trump win. So anyway, if you did like this video, or if you have some different feelings about all of this, about the Green Party, type a comment below. Let me know what you think about the Green Party. Let me know what you think about my thoughts on voting, especially in these deep red states. If you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching this video of Independent Thought. If you liked the conversation, please go ahead and give the video itself a like, and be sure to subscribe for future episodes on the channel.